Hey guys, Happy New Year. This is Young with AOR Alliance. Currently out of town working right now, and I had a early day. Got a couple hours of sunlight left. I'm currently out of Flagstaff, Arizona, and the hotel I'm staying at has a 1.65 mile nature trail right there. Guys, I apologize up front for the audio. I had to turn wind reduction on because it is a little breezy out here, and I would rather have low audio quality on my vocals than a bunch of wind running through the mic. So that's a problem that I'm going to address 2 weeks from now. I'm gonna get a wireless mic system. But for today, I'm going to do this trail and talk a little bit about my pragmatic approach to survival and maybe some stuff coming up that I'd like to try this year with I'm pretty sure COVID and all that stuff's going to wind down this year. So I've already got a campsite booked in April for my first adventure this year. Hopefully I'll be able to do a lot more, but for today it's a basic look at what I consider to be survival and the measures I take to be prepared. Stay tuned. All right guys, so survival, you know, a lot of places teach, and I was taught this way, is survival is something that happens that, you know, you end up in an emergency type of situation. And if you really look at it pragmatically, every one of us were introduced to a survival situation at birth. When we hit this world, we were immediately in a survival situation. And that's because if you look at the most basic knowledge set, here comes the wind, and I'm sorry about this, guys. The most basic knowledge set is the survival rule of threes. 3 minutes without air, you'll die. 3 hours without maintaining core body temperature, you die. 3 days without hydrating, you die. And then 3 weeks without food, you die. So when you're first born and you're newborn and you're an infant, you know, all that stuff's taken care of for you. They put you in onesies and wrap you up in blankets, and they feed you every 3 hours. So you're pretty well taken care of. But the older you get, the more you start having to rely on yourself, becoming independent. So every time you take a drink of water, you're practicing a basic fundamental survival skill. Every time you eat food, you're practicing a basic fundamental survival skill. Every time you adjust the thermostat in your house or your car, and every time you get dressed and you're dressing appropriately for the environment that you're going into, you're practicing a fundamental survival skill. With that being said, the survival rule of threes being the most basic knowledge that you need. And I don't believe, if I'm in an emergency situation, I don't call it survival. I call it a self-reliance. I don't have a survival kit. They're useless. And as you follow me on this channel, and I do more videos explaining this, it'll make more sense. But for today, how do I practice for mitigating self-reliance situations? Well, first thing is I go by level of preparation. There's 4 levels of preparation in my mind, and today we'll talk about level 1. Now, level 1 is the basic knowledge set of the survival rule of threes, which we just talked about, and that gives you 2 things, that piece of information. It gives you a procedure to follow when you find yourself in a self-reliance situation, and it also gives you an idea of how you should pack, and then some of the basic fundamental skills that you need and knowledge sets that you need. Basic first aid. Need to know how to tie, 4 to 6 different types of knots. some fire starting skills. These are all basic fundamental skills that you should know at level 1. You already practice a lot of them every day, like I just explained. Every time you drink water, every time you eat, every time you adjust the thermostat. But what is entailed in a level 1 kit? Well, it's basically what most of you would call your everyday carry. And it starts with your clothing. Are you dressed appropriately for the environment in which you're going out into? If that is a yes, then you're generally mitigating hypothermia or hyperthermia. You're protecting that core body temperature. So if you're dressed properly, you should be all right. Like right now on this hike, I'm dressed properly for the current conditions. But if something happens to me out here, well then I'm not prepared for it because I don't have any other kit with me. I don't have the ability to put on an insulating layer. I'm not expecting any trouble. This is a small loop. I know where I'm at. If I get in trouble, I know my beeline back to the hotel. So I'm pretty safe. As far as the rest of my level 1, when I get to a spot up here, we'll stop and set up the tripod and I will dump my pockets. All right, back to, I guess, my pocket dump. We've already discussed on my level 1 that the most important gear set item you can have is just being dressed properly for your environment. I already mentioned that I am dressed appropriately for the current conditions, but if I got stuck out here overnight, it's going to drop another 30 degrees down to around into the teens. So I'm not prepared as far as that kind of core body temperature stuff at the moment. But other level 1, which is basically going to be what most of you guys call EDC, start with a multi-tool. That is 4 tools in one right here. Those of you that are familiar with multi-tools know which one this is. I'm not going to name drop because I don't get paid by these companies. Any multi-tool will work. Doesn't even have to be a multi-tool. I also carry a life on me. That's more for self-defense purposes. 100% cotton bandana. I don't use this to blow my nose. I don't use this to wipe my sweat. I try to keep this as sterile as possible because its primary function is 100% cotton is to help me in first aid situations. And if need be, and if it's still clean, I can use it to cover the end of any container I'm covering to pull water out of an open source. This is only going to keep larger particles and sediment out. Of course, I've trying out this Christmas gift I got here, my Garmin Instinct Solar. That's on me, so this is my primary navigation device on my level 1 kit. It tells time, it gives me weather, it does all kinds of good things, and it's not dependent on an internet connection, which is a good thing. What else do we got here? My wallet, my phone. I carry a Zippo lighter, and yes, I know there are a lot more efficient lighters out there, but I like Americana. This is a recognizable piece, and I like it, so that's why I carry it. So we got what? Clothing, the lighter, the multi-tool, the knife, the watch, dressed properly. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh, I got a Write in the Rain notebook and a pen. But this is mainly for the job that I do as an inspector, to write down notes. So yeah, that's basically it. So you can add whatever you want to your level 1. If you're in a position to where you can carry every day, a concealed firearm is a great piece for your level 1. Me, job I do, I'm not allowed to carry firearms. in most places I go. So my firearm gets relegated to my level 2 kit, and we'll talk more about that in the next video. But primarily, having a solid level 1 with a solid basic knowledge set of survival, first aid, nighttime, fire building. These are all elements in a level 1 area that you should know. So yeah, that's it for this portion of the video. If I don't end this video in another segment, I wish you all a happy new year. I'm going to continue on this trail, and I'm gonna try to capture more footage to make a montage. I might come back for one more segment. Welcome to a new segment that I'm going to start this year with in this video here. Every time I'm in an outdoor adventure like this, where I'm in nature's great expanses, I am going to tackle the tough questions of the day. One being, does Bigfoot exist? And I am going to provide once and for all conclusive evidence that Bigfoot does not exist. So today we're in the forest outside of Flagstaff, Arizona. I have currently put 1.33 miles on, and I have seen evidence of elk and deer. No evidence of Bigfoot. So I know a lot of you believers out there, well, you're not really seeing much off the trail, so let's go over here. See what's over here. Well, you know, and I guess kind of like Bigfoot, you know, the crushing national debt we got seems to be pretty elusive for our elected officials to tame and pay down. But that's another story. This is an outdoor channel doing serious outdoor stuff. And yeah, we just walked off the trail here a little ways. It's a 360 camera, so I can change my perspective and post here. But yeah, we'll check behind this tree right here. This is our first tree for conclusive evidence that Bigfoot does not exist. All right, guys. Yeah. No footmarks, no scat, no skeletons, nothing. There you have it, guys. Welcome to the first segment of Does Bigfoot Exist? And in Flagstaff, Arizona, I have conclusively proved with the lack of evidence that Bigfoot does not exist in Flagstaff, Arizona. Stay tuned for my second segment in an upcoming video. All right, guys, that concludes my hike. It actually ended up being a 2.06 mile hike around this property here in Flagstaff. Guys, if you find my content useful, a little entertaining, consider hitting that subscribe button. Mash the like button. Hell, mash the dislike button. Leave comments. Positive and negative feedback is traffic across my channel. I appreciate it. So stay tuned. I do another little adventure or whatever. We'll get back to you with what I have for a level 2 preparedness kit. Thanks.